discuss, consider accepting a bid to install fencing at Fairview Cemetery.
Mayor, Council, howdy, Listenby. Thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. The item in front of us is the Fairview Cemetery Improvements Project. Before I joined the team here in Pecos, there had been quite a bit of conversation about the condition of Fairview Cemetery. A lot of it focused on the fencing that surrounds this park. And so this project is intended to address that with the removal of the existing chain link fence. I believe I have some pictures that may be hard to see, but that fence has failed in many locations where the wire is curling, the poles have corroded, we're propping them up with T-posts. The fence is deteriorated and not aged well, and so it needs to be replaced. But we don't want to go back with more chain link. There's two goals that we want to try to accomplish with this project. One is safety from vehicular entrance. It has happened on more than one occasion where a car will hop off the road, go through the chain link fence, and then hit headstones and hit things that are people's loved ones. And so we want to try to prevent vehicular entrance into the park from coming off the street. So this fence is going to be a partial stonework fence, be about 2 feet, 2.5 feet of stonework, and then above that will be cast aluminum fence panels that are picket style, so that it's very easy to see into the cemetery. That was the other thing, is that we wanted to maintain visibility into the cemetery and to our history. So this conceptual drawing provides 20-foot sections, so there'll be a column every 20 feet. There'll be 2 to 2.5 feet of stonework, and then the aluminum fencing above that. This shows an aerial view of Fairview Cemetery, and the fencing will go around the entire perimeter. One of the things that we've added to this project is currently there's only one entrance into Fairview Cemetery, there on the north side. We're proposing to add a second entrance either on Hackberry or on Washington. The Washington is not desirable because of the amount of traffic that's there. I think we would prefer Hackberry. What this would accomplish is that as future internments happen there, vehicles can come in one gate, go out the other gate. Flow is much easier, and it's less risk of people hitting tombstones as they're trying to navigate around to get back out the entrance. It also improves public safety. If you have a funeral being conducted and first responders need to get in and there's only one entrance, it's probably packed full of cars, limits the ability of first responders to get in. We just feel it's better for this location to have two entrances. So this is changing the fencing, but also adding an additional entrance. We had a total budget of $700,000. $500,000 was to go towards the fence improvements. We had $100,000 for landscape improvements and $100,000 for roadway improvements. When this bid out, we had one company submit a bid on time, and that's High Ridge Construction, and they have a representative here. We did have another firm submit a bid, but it was late, so it was a disqualified bid, and they were significantly higher than High Ridge, but theirs was not considered because they didn't meet the bid deadline. So this bid from High Ridge would allow us to remove the existing chain link, install the new secure and attractive fencing around the perimeter, add the additional roadway, and what I am asking for is to add, their bid's $528,214. I'm asking that we add an additional $25,000, which is 5% of the original project, as contingency. What that allows us to do is provide some flexibility during construction. There may be some unknowns that we encounter when it comes time to install the new roadway. We just need some flexibility to react to conditions. From my experience, I like to have somewhere around 5% contingency in a project, just so that things flow smoother. And so that would put the total contract value at $553,214. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Since we want to open up on Hackberry, will we have to do something about high school kids starting to park down that street now?
No, that's when they put the EMS over there, they made that all no parking.
The other thing that we're gonna have to potentially do, if you look at how the roadway lines up, from that aerial, there's the center roadway, right where it meets Hackberry would be the ideal location for the entrance.
Right.
There's a power pole right smack in the middle of that right now. And so we're probably gonna have to work, the power pole moved. There's some logistics that we gotta work out. The alternate location, I don't think it is as good, but on Washington, you can see, there's a corner where two roads kind of meet in the park. That would be a potential location. It would work for flow, but it's just too much traffic on Washington. I don't like that location.
I like the idea on Hackberry, it's just we need to do something about those cars
Agreed.
being parked there now.
The police department has been doing streets, but again, it's a little bit lower on
Yeah.
the road.
Other work going on in the cemetery?
Got some irrigation work going on.
Boy, if that's not a segue. Yes, Mayor was able to get PDC Energy on board to do a landscaping project for the city, where we're gonna supply the materials and they're supplying all the labor as part of their community give back day. I forget what their acronym was, but they dedicate a day to give back to the community, and they picked Pecos. It's gonna be a really great project, save the city quite a bit of money. They're bringing down executives from Colorado, if they can get out of the snow, to come down and participate in that, so it's gonna be a very good project. And as of this morning, they started trenching for that project, and so, it's gonna go quickly, it's gonna be a great project.
So, the reason I tried to leave that segue is, so we can get this irrigation in, so what is the timeline for the fencing?
In the bid document, they said construction time would be 100 days. So
Start or to finish?
Start to finish.
start to finish. So once we give them notice to proceed, they mobilize, you're looking at probably 100 days to complete.
In June?
About June 15th. Depends on the start date.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my name's Matthew Martinez. I'm a representative of High Ridge Construction out of El Paso, Texas.
From El Paso?
Yes. And so, we have branches throughout the state of Texas. We're looking at Pecos, I'll just say it right now.
Get in line, everyone else is too. But we appreciate you being here tonight.
You bet.
This is a project that's long overdue, and we do wanna get moving on it, so.
And the conceptual drawing, it's a natural stone rock wall, basically. We're shipping the rock in from out of town, obviously. And the aluminum fence panels are pre-manufactured. It should be a real decorative fence.
We look forward to it, and its completion. Okay, thank you. Motion.
Motion I make a motion to accept a bid to install fencing at Fairview Cemetery to High Ridge Construction in the amount of $553,214 as presented.
I have a motion by Councilman Ornelas and a second by Councilwoman Baca to approve accepting the bid to install fencing at Fairview Cemetery in the amount of $553,214, which does include $25,000 on the contingency. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed like sign. Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number F10, discuss consider entering into an engineering agreement with Park Hill Smith and Cooper for services related to the design of Lincoln Street improvements. Mr. Johnson?
Mayor and council, you almost made it out of the meeting without having to hear from me.
Let me retract that item.
You're not that lucky. This is a project that the council identified as being a priority in this year. As you know, Pecos is growing. we never get tired of hearing that. But it's growing, especially along Lincoln Street. We're seeing some developments come in. Staybridge has a TCO on their first 2 floors, and they've already got people there. I saw cars parked there the other night. They're working on their other building, and we hope to hear sometime next month on another development coming in. Burger King has already broken ground as well. They've got their pad built. There's also apartments going in, et cetera, et cetera. The list keeps going. It's very exciting. But we would like to have a gateway into this shopping center that matches this type of development. Council set aside $2.6 million this year to get started on this. As you can see, this came in at less than that. The engineer cost that we're proposing is $712,041, and that does sound substantial, but it is about 8% of the overall estimated project cost. We're going to recommend that we do this in phases as we continue to have money become available. Again, with sales tax being up, we're seeing substantially more than what we had originally budgeted. And so once we get closer to an actual design, the council chooses to do a larger portion of that front, we can certainly do that. With this work to be done, the council had previously approved doing the surveying, which gave us a leg up. Engineers are already able to start looking at it, making plans. There would be some additional surveying, in particular for the locations of stoplights. We asked them to not only look at Lincoln, but also the other areas on 285 that the city, county, school, and hospital have all been discussing to improve traffic flow along 285. There's also been discussion of adding a turn lane into the rodeo grounds. And so this would include engineering work for that. We've also spoken to the county. We have not done a work back, but the preliminary conversations that they're willing to reimburse the city for their portion of that work for that. So this $712,041 includes not only the engineering design, but also surveying, traffic counts, traffic warrants for the signals that have to meet the TMU TCD warrants in order to put them in. It includes geotechnical work, going out and doing the corings, making sure that we got good base, that it's being built accordingly. Also includes water, sewer, storm drainage, and lighting. And lighting, as you know, down that street right now is pretty much non-existent, and so that's one of the more exciting parts of it. We are recommending Parkville Smith and Cooper. We do have a relationship with them. They've done a lot of work for us on the landfill, and they were one of the respondents that we put out to the blanket RFP, and they do have substantial experience in doing exactly this type of work. And so we are recommending to the council to enter into an engineering agreement for this work in the amount of $712,041. Before I get asked how long it will take, we estimate it to be about 9 months because it is a substantial project. We're talking close to 2 miles of design and getting their subs in there and everything else. So we think that by the end of this calendar year, we should have a working set of plans, and then we'll be able to start rolling that into whatever phase we need to based off of funding that's available at that time.
You answered my questions, so.
Any questions?
Any other questions?
We do have the money, I was just making sure.
We do have the money, and as I mentioned, this was money set aside from actually 2 different pools. One being general fund, based off of the estimates for sales and property tax, which we are ahead of schedule on that. But we had also set aside money from reserves that we have cash in hand, which was almost enough to cover this by itself. And also from the street maintenance tax, which is dedicated sales tax specifically for improving our existing streets. And so between those, yes, we have the money.
With that said, Mayor, I'll make the motion to enter an engineering agreement with Park Hill Smith and Cooper for services related to the design of Lincoln Street improvements as presented. In the amount of $712,041.
Have a motion by Councilman Tellez and a second by Councilwoman Baca to approve entering into the engineering agreement with Park Hill Smith and Cooper for services related to the design of Lincoln Street improvements in the amount of $712,041 as presented, with a timeline of 9 months to complete.
What we're shooting for.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Let the record show the motion carries. Just wanted it on the record.